Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Batach, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Get Ready for the Siege. Right, and basically, I just want to go into this article real quick. Just be a quick video, just warning the sheep and allowing us to know the times that we're living in and the things that are getting ready to happen. If you've been watching, you've been seeing the moves of Esau, Edom, and the things to come. The scriptures say, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." Right. And first and foremost, we get the wisdom and knowledge through the scriptures. The scriptures say we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? And the scriptures also talk about being circumspect. You know, uh, so this says executives from OpenAI, Meta, and Palantir join the U.S. Army. All of this is going into what? Surveillance, tracking, digital profiles, and artificial intelligence, right? Because that's what they need to push forward towards their agendas. And the ultimate agenda being the micro secret that they want to push on the masses for total control, right? That's what it's about. It's about total control. Look what this says here. It says four top tech executives from OpenAI, Meta, OpenAI, Meta, and Palantir have just joined the U.S. Army. No obstacles, courses, shouted orders, or rolling marches required. Now, you know, I understand clearly, what they're doing. Maybe some people might have a problem with this, but Esau even is moving with great wrath because he had but a short time and he's moving quickly, right? He doesn't have time for all of that. He needs brains for what comes next. You have the muscle aspect of the military, but now he wants some brain, right? Because you need robot dogs, attack drones, surveillance. That's the new way. As you can see throughout history, it continued to increase. From swords and shields, to guns, to nuclear weapons, and now we have robots fighting battles and drones, right, and surveillance. You know, so that's where they at. That's where the world is at, and that's pretty much it won't be it's more so for the MOTB, because they're thinking they're going to continue for a while, so they're trying to, which I'm getting to this Nahum 3, is increase their defenses, increase their army and whatnot, but ultimately it's too late. They're already in a position where they're fighting a war, which is World War III, and this war is going to be just fire, the nuclear bombs, right? They're trying to enter into the fourth industrial revolution, right, to get to this digital age. They're going to start with that chip, and they're thinking that it's going to go further, all right? But it's not. It's going to end with a fire. Isaiah 95, it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolling blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." So the war to come is going to be with burning and fuel of fire. And it's coming quickly. We're in that time now. That's why Esau Edom is moving so fast to try to accomplish these things that he has allowed the executive, uh, you know, uh, digital guys, AI guys, tech guys to come in there, and hit top ranks because he need them, for what he thinks is about to happen. But really, he's going to be destroyed. Anyway, it says the Army Reserve has commissioned these senior tech leaders who serve as mid-level officers, skipping traditions to pursue transformation. So they're trying to transform the military. They're trying to make it better. It said the newcomers won't attend any current version of the military's most basic and ingrained rite of passage boot camp. Which boot camp is good, because you get the training, you get through the fields of being out there in the war. So obviously these individuals most likely will be behind the scenes, doing some type of other technical stuff. Obviously, it says instead they'll be ushered in through express training that Army leaders are still hashing out. I believe this is Colonel Dave Butler, a spokesman for the chief of staff of the Army, said in a phone interview with Business Insider. They'll do marksmanship training, physical training. They'll learn the Army rank structure and history and uniforms, Butler explained. really and truly, they're tech guys. All right, we know what they're going to be used for. We already see a little bit of Palantir, right? Mass surveillance with these guys here. This one here, Palantir. Okay, you can look that up. All right. It says he said that you could think of it as a pilot of the boot camp light plans, adding that the new soldiers were a part of the Army's larger effort to rapidly modernize. So they're trying to rapidly modernize and more modern digital, right? Drones, artificial intelligence, mass surveillance, right? That's where they're going, right? So ultimately they're going to come with this MOTB. It's already going to be set up, right? That's the sword. So Esau Edom has been blessed with the sword, and he's basically integrating the MOTB with the sword. The sword is his military force. He weaponizes everything, and now he's going to weaponize the MOTB for mass tracking through his military power. See that? All right. So let's see. It says the executives, Shyam Shankar, the chief technology officer of Palantir, Andrew Bosworth, the Chief Technology Officer of Meta, Kevin Whale, the Chief Product Officer at OpenAI, and Bob McGree, an advisor at Thinking Machines Lab, who was formerly the Chief Research Officer for OpenAI, are joining the Army as Lieutenant Colonels as part of an effort to turbocharge tech innovation and adoption. See, turbocharge. Esau Edom is moving very quickly in these last days, and he sees what's happening. He sees the battles that's being fought right now. Israel, Iran, Russia. What is everybody doing? They droning, bombing each other with drones. While they're somewhere, in the basements with goggles on, flying the drone. And then some of them are out in the field, flying the drones connected to cords, because then you have also the satellites interference and things like that cause the drones that are flown, with goggles and stuff from afar to be just, knocked out of the air. So they're trying to bring these guys in to obviously fix that problem, right? It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Revelations 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. The devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. Right, so that he's moving turbocharged speed. It says the service decision to allow the force to skip direct commissioning boot camp, a shortened version of regular officer boot camp, is unusual, though not without historical prudence. Precedence. Precedence, the condition of being considered more important than someone or something else. Priority in importance, order of rank. Yeah.
Precedence.
All right, precedence. Yeah, I would say so. They really need it. America has fallen behind China, right? They're trying to catch up with China, right? And China not even in a war right now, so they're not really seeing what China has to offer. It says the Army has allowed the direct commission of civilians since 1961 to bring experts with critically needed skills into the force. He wrote an email to BI. All right, so they're critically needed, but all in all, they're trying to increase the Army. It says Nahum 3:11, it says, and you, Nineveh, will also stagger like a drunkard. You will hide for the fear of the attacking enemy. All your fortresses will fall. This is NLT. They will be devoured like the ripe figs that fall into the mouths of those who shake the trees. Your troops will be as weak as helpless as women. The gates of your land will be opened wide to the enemy and set on fire and burned. It says, get ready for the siege, store of water, strengthen your defenses. So that's what they're doing. They're strengthening their defenses, gaining people onto themselves, different so-called, whatever they said, top guys, important guys, It says, go into the pit to trample clay and pack it into molds, making bricks to repair the walls. It says, but the fire will devour you, the sword will cast you down, the enemy will consume you like locusts, devouring everything they see. There will be no escape, even if you multiply like swarming locusts. See, so they can, get all these top guys, bring them in. Doesn't matter. The Most High has already set their destruction, right? So if you can see what's happening, they're moving with quick speed to try to help themselves. Anything they can do, it's not going to work. It's too late. We're at the end already. They should have been did all this. Even Trump said one time, uh, he signed some executive orders regarding. It's like I forget what it was, but regarding basically the whole thing, he said we should have been did this 30 years ago. All right, and even before that, they should have been already had this stuff down packed 30 years ago. And now they're moving like hell. This dude signed like over 100 executive orders, in office as soon as he got in there. And all of that is what you see happening now. ICE, baby. You got the government shutting down, Doge, all those executive orders happening now because they're moving quick as hell. All right. It says your merchants have multiplied until they outnumber the stars, but like a swarm of locusts, they strip the land and fly away. I guess that's why he was upset with what is it? China, China's taking all the money, whatnot, regarding trades. Anyways, Nathan 37 says your guards and officials are like the swarming locusts. They crowd together in a hedge on a cold day, but like locusts, they fly away when the sun comes up. All of them will fly away and disappear. Yeah, they're not going to want that smoke, when Russia and everybody, China and Iran are joined together to come against them. We even see a little bit of that now. A lot of people in Ukraine are what are they doing? They're surrendering. They don't want to fight. The whole of Ukraine is pretty much dying. All the men in Ukraine are dying, mass graves. Women is just helpless, right? They're surrendering. So when Russia and them come try to attack America, they're gonna be trying to surrender too. So individuals go over to the Middle East, they're gonna try to surrender them. It says your shepherds are asleep, O Syrian king. Your princes lie down in the dust. Your people are scattered across the mountains with no one to gather them together. There is no healing for your wound. Your injury is fatal. All who hear of your destruction will clap their hands for joy. Where can anyone be found who has not suffered from your continual cruelty? Right, and it's being found out more and more that this devil is an instrument of cruelty, right? And the nations are seeing that. So, like I said, real quick, Lord willing, you are edified from the lesson. I say shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.